Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 in the third part of this series with Manchester City. We're trying to run through this series as quickly as possible, and when we left off last time we had just played Liverpool twice, losing to them 3-1 at Anfield at the start of the Premier League season. But then we beat Arsenal 1-0 and then beat Chelsea 3-0 as well. It was a pretty good start to the league. I know a lot of you didn't really like the tactic that I was using, which I do fully understand. It was a bit of an odd tactic, but it has worked reasonably well for us since then, especially for John Stones. As we kicked off the game against Norwich, he did absolutely sensationally. I don't know what odds you would have got on John Stones getting a hat-trick, but that's what happened. Laporte put the ball in, Fernandinho's header, it ricocheted around, and it was actually John Stones who swept it into the back of the net. 20 minutes to go, he was in there for an easy volley at the near post to make it 2-0, and then we got a penalty in added time, which I let him take, and he repaid us by tucking it into that bottom corner to give us a nice 3-0 victory. We then had to take on Genk in the Champions League, kick off our Champions League campaign. We were away from home, playing in that. I actually quite like this away kit for Manchester City. Stones put the ball in. He's been very good for us at the first part of the season, and he got the assist as Jesus nodded the ball past the keeper. There was a question of offside, but nothing really in it. And then late on, the ball came to Gundogan. It was Rodrigo. Look at how he wound up his leg there and then fired it into the bottom corner for a 2-0 win. That was reasonably late on there. We then had to take on Burnley. This was yet another good win for us. We've got a lot of games to get through because we've basically gone halfway through the season, which is what I said we'd do at the end of last episode. There's not an awful lot to these games, so rather than have you watch us beat Burnley in what would a video that would take 25 minutes, let's just skip through them quickly. You can see Rodriguez there did give Burnley an early lead, but Sterling on the counter-attack pulled the ball back for Mendy on the volley right into the top corner. A very nice goal for Benjamin Mendy. Cancelo then made another oh no, he didn't. It was cleared away, and Burnley were the ones that actually scored here. Rodriguez got in behind, made it 2-1. I forgot that we went down twice to Burnley here. Bernardo Silva, though, taking the ball out wide. Only 20 minutes to go. Pulled it back. Cancelo to Rodrigo. Buries it into the far post. Rodrigo, a substitute there, brought on to turn the game around, and boy did he. Cancelo then switched the ball to the far side. Silva pulled it back. It came to De Bruyne. He rocketed it into the bottom corner for 3-2, and De Bruyne involved in the late goal as well. Ball comes out to him here, and then he goes for goal. Stunning outside the boot finish into the top corner for 4-2. A very nice comeback victory there. We then played Reading in the EFL Cup. I think this is the third round of the EFL Cup. Away from home, you can see Phil Foden starting this game, and he did quite well. A few key passes in there. The ball came out here. Second half, we had to wait till Rodrigo pulled it to Zinchenko, and it went in really off the back of the keeper there, I think that was. But it claimed goal for Zinchenko there, and then just a couple of minutes later, Jesus played through on goal. A really nice drilled finish past the keeper to make it 2-0. And then 15 minutes to go, a little bit of a scare. Swift split out of fence straight down the middle with the ball in top. And then a nice little dink past the keeper for 2-1. But we did manage to see the game out. We then had to take on Wolves away from home. Another good win for us today. The really interesting thing with the tactic that we've been using is that we're getting goal scorers from all over the pitch. There is nobody carrying the team here. Cancelo here pulled in from the right, found Fernandinho, and he drilled it into the top corner. He is not a regular goal scorer, but he did really well there. Mendy then put the ball in, and Fernandinho popped up again here. Ball laid off by De Bruyne, and another long-range effort into the bottom corner to make it 2-0. Fernandinho getting a brace. You don't see that every day. So that took us up to October. Now we still have a bit of a way to go here, but you can see our form has been really consistent. The only defeat other than that Liverpool one has come against Atletico Madrid. It was at home as well, which is a little bit frustrating. Now, this is a game that's kind of determined the way that our group ended up going. It isn't just this game, though, because we also really struggled with Lyon, as you'll see, but it was Saul who hit the ball past Edison, who probably shouldn't have been beaten there. But there wasn't a lot to it for Atletico Madrid. They had 3 efforts. We had 28, and yet we failed to get past Jan Oblak, which is a little bit frustrating. In the league, though, against Southampton, we were continuing an absolutely sensational run of form. I think we picked up something like 8 or 9 victories on the bounce. This being one of them. The ball just passed around at the back and given away to Aguero, who turned and finished brilliantly into the bottom corner there. He's not been as prolific as I would like, and he's also missed about 2 or 3 penalties as well, so he's almost been taken off penalty duty, not quite yet. He has scored a couple as well, but De Bruyne there with an equally good finish, hard and low, into the bottom corner. 2 of our best players popping up for us in that game to get the win. We then played Newcastle, who didn't exactly start well by getting a man sent off. Matt Ritchie just 8 minutes into the game. They also lost DeAndre Yedlin to injury. And it took us until the second half to take advantage. A corner, Raheem Sterling, the one nodding it in. I think that was actually his first goal of the season as well. De Bruyne then tried to swing a crossing, came back to Rodrigo, and then Mahrez took the effort into the bottom corner. A nice little finish from him, very little backlift, and then the floodgates opened. Jesus taking a penalty to make it 3-0. Cancelo teed it up for De Bruyne, came back out to him. He whipped it to the back stick, and Mahrez with an absolutely stunning bullet header into the bottom corner for 4. And then late on, into added time, Mahrez found Sterling, edge of the area, dinks it back across. It comes to Kyle Walker, of all people, who slots it home. And Walker on an absolute goal-scoring run this season, doing really, really well. So Lyon have been a little bit of a bogey team for us in the Champions League. This 3-3 draw was a heck of a game. Both sides had chances to win it in added time as well. It just absolutely yo-yoed one way and the other the whole game. It started out with us taking the lead. Sterling in behind, just held up, pulled it back, and Rodrigo another stunning long-range finish. We've had a lot of those goals this season. But then, just over half an hour played, Memphis Depay caused us all sorts of problems, and Aouar with an excellent finish there to make it 1-1. Long-range goals seem absolutely overpowered in the game at the moment. Memphis put it in again. It ends up coming back to him eventually, and it takes him 2 bites of the cherry to get that ball into the back of the net. But he really was just undoing us. Aguero did manage to score his first penalty of the season. I think it was his first, to make it 2-2. Over an hour gone, Memphis Depay picks up the ball, continuing to cause us trouble, whips it in, and Traoré with the header into the top corner. And it took us a little bit more time. 10 minutes on, Mahrez switches the flank, Sterling's on it, puts the ball across. Now De Veerold had his effort blocked, but Fernandinho firing it in from long range yet again to make it 3-3. That was a really entertaining game to watch, a little bit frustrating if you're the manager though to see a game bounce around like that. We really should have won that, and those 2 draws with Lyon, well, there's another draw to come, 0-0, so there won't be any highlights for that one, but those 2 draws really are the reason that we've failed to win that group, which is a bit frustrating. Now, Kyle Walker had the ball here, teed it up for De Bruyne, and Foster probably should have kept that one out, but it gave us the lead quite late on. Did that just not play the Bernardo Silva goal? No, I don't think it did. For whatever reason, it does not want to show you Bernardo Silva's goal in that game. I cannot remember what it was, so it mustn't have been that entertaining. Crystal Palace, though, this was a little bit of a tough game. They actually scored within about a minute, but it was ruled out for offside. But then just a little bit later, Miljovic with the penalty into the bottom corner beat Edison. But we managed to get the equaliser quite quickly. De Bruyne put the ball in, it cleared out to Cancelo, and he wound up and found the bottom corner, the near post, somehow beating Hennessy. And then with about 20 odd minutes left to go, Alderweireld with a long ball over the top. Jesus was in behind, and a beautiful dink into that far post there to make it 2-1. And we did manage to get a good victory against a tough team, especially for the big teams who have struggled to beat Palace in recent times. Everton was a much easier game for us to manage. Danny Olmo, I think, gets his first career goal in this game, but we tore Everton apart very quickly in this match. So Gundogan here, 20 minutes played. Keep an eye on the time of the goals here. Played it through an almost first-time effort. Poor goalkeeping from Pickford gave us the lead. 3 minutes later, Gundogan with a penalty, bottom corner, made it 2-0. Bernardo Silva with the ball across to Olmo. He played it in. It ran along the box and Kyle Walker's effort was blocked, but Bernardo Silva tucked it home for 3-0. 7 minutes between those goals, and then 2 minutes later, we scored 4 goals in 10 minutes here. Jesus tees up Silva, and his effort leaves Pickford rooted to the ground. The whole team became very complacent in the second half, which is why we didn't score anymore. And it also allowed Everton this chance. The ball just put in by Keane and a stunning effort from Richarlison. They easily could have had a couple more as well. We weren't too far off a massive turnaround in that game. The draw with Lyon, a bit frustrating. Kyle Walker got sent off for 2 yellows. We weren't able to get a goal, and then against Bournemouth as well, another goalless game where we failed to score. But we did find our scoring boost for this cracker of a game where Genk ended up finishing with just 8 players on the pitch. And we did manage to make the most of it, to be fair, getting 2 late goals as they really started to tire. But they had no discipline in this game. A man sent off at 32, 70 and 84 minutes. But we did already have the lead before they had a man sent off. Alderweireld put the ball across and Jesus with the far post header. He's been very good this season. Aguero then took a penalty to make it 35 minutes in, not long after they lost their first player. And then they had 2 more sent off. And late on, I obviously tried to put salt in the wounds by going very attacking. And Aguero there tucking home Mahrez's pass inside. And late on, John Stones here played it into Alderweireld and he rifled it home for 4-0. A very nice result there. And then against Palace in the Premier League, the previous win against Palace did come in the EFL Cup. I don't think I mentioned that. But a nice 4 win here as well. You can see that the season has been going very nicely for us up to now. Only a couple of blips, really, and a few games where we haven't quite scored as many as you'd like. Aguero here from a corner, hit the woodwork, but John Stones leathering a volley in for 1-0, 3 minutes played. De Bruyne's ball in, Aguero with the header again, this time onside, made it 2-0. 25 minutes to go, ball out to Sterling. He puts it across, and a good header here from Kyle Walker. Yet another goal for him. And then late on, 70 minutes played, Walker out to Bernardo Silva. He puts it through. Sterling is in on goal, and he finishes it very easily for a nice 4-0 win. Now, we are almost through these highlights. The trouble is, there have been so many goals, but the tactic we're using just creates high-scoring games. I have altered the tactic, you might see here, so that the 2 wide midfielders are now pushed up into attacking midfield roles, and I think that's created even more goals in the game. But Bernardo Silva here somehow keeping the ball, finding Aguero to give us the lead just before half-time. But then the other side of half-time, not too long played, Felipe Anderson had the ball, he whipped it across, and Yarmolenko's header came back to him for an easy finish at the near post to hold us up for a draw. Then we had our best performance of the season so far, a 7-0 victory. You know, if Zinchenko scored 2 from left back as a substitute, that you've had a pretty easy day at the office. Silva with the ball to the back stick very early on, setting the tone as Jesus nodded that past the keeper. Aguero then winning the ball, 20 minutes played, Jesus switches the flank, Sterling runs into the box and he gets another goal for him to make it 2. And then goals kept coming quite consistently. Walker with a free kick here, finding the top corner. I was tempted to take him off the free kick, but he really paid up dividend there. Ball comes out to Jesus. He puts it inside for Silva, tucked home beautifully low and hard for 4-0. 65 minutes, there's about 10 minutes between every goal in this game. Mahrez cuts inside from the right, finds Zinchenko, and that tame little header too far from the keeper to get us another goal. Then Silva to Otamendi, puts it in, Alderweireld down as Zinchenko on the slide, makes it, I think, 6, is that? And then Otamendi to Rodrigo, 15 minutes to go here. Kyle Walker picks out Mahrez, no backlift, the second of those goals where he scored from outside the area with no backlift whatsoever, and it easily could have been 9-10-0 that game, but we did take our foot off the pedal a little bit. 2 games to go. This one against Atletico Madrid. We did manage to get our revenge. That's what I was pushing for. They had Alvaro Morata sent off quite early on in this game. We were already leading from this goal here. De Bruyne in, Gundogan with the header. A nice, clean set piece. And then Morata was sent off for a 2-footed tackle on the goalkeeper. Very much deserved. Diego Costa, though, was played in behind with 15 minutes to go. One of those nothing balls that leads to a goal with a player of his quality up top. In the 95th minute, we got a penalty which Aguero tucked home against his former team to sink them and give us a win, but we weren't able to finish top of the group there. And finally, in this Premier League game against Aston Villa, we did manage to get the win. It was a long slog. Aston Villa didn't even have a shot in the game, but it took us till the 84th minute. Mahrez's header came out to De Bruyne. He switches the flank to Fernandinho. He goes for goal and finds that bottom corner. We scored quite a few goals in that bottom corner this season to give us yet another win. So this season overall has been pretty good. I think the tactics working pretty well. We've had a few draws more recently, but 2 of them coming in the Champions League, 1 of the defeats coming in the Champions League. And it means our league form is pretty nice at the moment. 13 wins, 2 draws, 1 defeat. Liverpool and Arsenal both 4 points behind us. We're 9 points clear of Spurs in 5th. It's not been that difficult a season, to be honest. There's been very little hard thinking. You can see, though, that Kyle Walker, the highest average rating in the league, he has been unbelievable for us. 5 goals in 9 games with 4 assists from right back. He really is putting in an absolute shift out there. Fernandinho, also a player who I'm looking to release at the end of the season, but he's been doing brilliantly, getting a lot of the man of the match performances. Ederson has the most clean sheets. John Stones has the most yellow cards. Not sure I really want to rave about that. But you can see we did finish second in the Champions League group, 2 points behind Atletico, because obviously we had those 2 draws, a defeat as well. But we've been drawn with Juventus. That is a problem with finishing second in the group. Every team, because so many English teams finished top of their group, every team we could play was one of the big ones. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, all the big teams in there. And I don't think Juventus is too bad. It means we do need to get past Ronaldo to progress in the Champions League. But overall, the team's been doing well. Everybody is in form. And if we look at our top goal scorers, you can see Aguero is leading the line with 10. Jesus has 7. Kyle Walker is in 3rd with 5. I would have been interested to see how many people would have put him in 3rd. And then you've got a lot of players on 4, 3, 2, 1 goals, but so many players chipping in to the scoring this season. And now we have 2 matches against Manchester United. One in the Karibel Cup and then another in the Premier League. So 2 huge games here. If we have a look at the team that we're going with today, you can see we've got Aguero, Sterling and Bernardo Silva up top, with Silva, Gundogan and Rodri in central midfield, then Mendy, Otamendi, Laporte, Walker and Ederson in the defensive unit. I will try and get through these 2 games quite quickly. I won't talk through the whole match. We will just keep an eye on the key highlights as they happen. But hopefully we can get a win in our first Manchester derby here in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup and really stick the boot into a team who have Diego Jota leading the line at the moment. It's a very conservative team to my eye. Half an hour played, Rodrigo to Gundogan. Sends it back to Rodrigo. Ball dinked into the far side. Sterling is going to get there. He's got 4 in the box to aim at. He finds Aguero, but it's an easy take for David De Gea in goal. Corner for United. Lingard put in towards the back stick, but Ederson comes out to take that one very nicely. He puts it out quickly to Otamendi, who launches it forward to Sterling. He's got Aguero making the run. Instead, he switches it to Bernardo Silva in a nice position. He's just held up by 2 United players. But the ball comes back to him there. I think he's onside. Pulls it into Gundogan. Now Walker's teed up. It comes to Rodrigo. And what an effort from Rodri there. Outside the D. Fires it into that top corner. And we do have the lead in the Manchester derby. A really nice move from the team here. Bernardo Silva holding the ball up. Played it to the edge for Gundogan. A nice bit of patience here. He back-tealed it to Walker, who teed it up for Rodrigo. And De Gea just took a step to his left, which left him with too much space to his right, and it gave us that advantage. Walker with the throw, Bernardo Silva on the edge of the area, plays it in, Aguero with the finish. A nice, simple goal makes it 2-0 in the Manchester derby, and United really have offered absolutely nothing today. We should be getting a nice, clean and easy victory here. You can see just a straight line effort from the throw-in look. 3 players came up to Bernardo Silva and still couldn't stop him, leaving Aguero open to finish the chance. United still not had a shot on target in this game as Mendy switches the ball out to Bernardo Silva. 20 minutes to go. It's Walker. Ball just being played between the 2 players there. It's switched out to Raheem Sterling. He's had a quiet game, but he sends it back to Mendy. Brings the ball forward. Back to Rodrigo. Mendy to Silva. Sterling ahead of him. Comes inside to Rodrigo again. He plays it through, and Gundogan with the effort finds the top corner. Stunning from Ilkay Gundogan. It's 3-0. We'll just have a look at that highlight. It deserves a highlight before we make the substitutions, but an absolutely stunning effort yet again. We've scored so many great goals this season, and this is another one. It's just teed up for him, and he's finished that so well past De Gea to make it 3-0. No question about who the biggest team in Manchester is after that. A 3-0 destruction of this United team. We need to prove it wasn't a one-off in our next game, which is also, I believe, at home against Manchester United. We're into the semi-finals of the Karibel Cup as well. Not a priority for us, but nice to do. You can see it's been a long time now since we lost to Atletico Madrid at the start of October. A nice run of games, 4 wins on the bounce as well. And yep, at home against Manchester United next. I think what we'll do is we'll go through the highlights in the same way as we just did, and then bring this episode to a close. And then next time we'll probably do that nice Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea hat-trick to break up the number of games that we're playing. We do also have that EFL Cup semi-final. Depending on who we're drawn against, we might take a look at that one in the following episode. But then we've got the Juventus Champions League knockout stages as well. So the Premier League taking a bit of a back seat in terms of videos, I think, for this season. It looks like we're probably going to do the job. I think that Liverpool game will be the key. Arsenal as well in that run of games. So a lot to look forward to there. If you are enjoying this series, do make sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video. Let me know what you think as well about how the start of this episode went with all those games. I'm not suggesting we have that many games between episodes very often, but sometimes it just works out that way. Let me know if you did enjoy that. But let's jump forward to the Manchester United second game at home and see if we can spank them again. Not too many changes to the team for the second game here. We've got Aguero, Sterling and Silva up top with De Bruyne, Fernandinho and Rodri in central midfield this time. Mendy, Laporte, Stones and Walker in defence. Ederson in goal. Trying to keep those fresh legs going, keep everybody above 90% fitness. But we should still be able to get another good victory against Manchester United here and hopefully knock them out of their top 4 place. They're going with almost the exact same team. Fred's dropped back, Pereira moved into central midfield, but other than that, this is going to be a much more tired team than ours was, and also a little bit more maybe demotivated after their crushing defeat in the last match. Walker with a throw in here, 15 minutes on the clock as Aguero heads it down to Bernardo Silva. He beats one defender, still got the ball, goes back to Walker, played into Fernandinho, but Lingard gets that one away. Jota here with the ball, loses out to Walker spectacularly. Fernandinho played out wide. Sterling does get to it, keeps it in. Rodri to Mendy. Nice play in the central midfield area, and he's found Sterling there really well, but De Gea gets down quite quickly to stop that one at his near post. Sterling not as clinical in this game as he has been in real life. Ederson, though, sending the ball out to Kyle Walker. We're trying to get this early goal here. Bernardo Silva plays it over the top, and Aguero's brought it down beautifully. He's through on goal, but again, De Gea making the stop to keep us out. De Bruyne with a free kick. Players lined up. He's whipped it to the back stick. Bernardo Silva in there. It's cleared away off the line and further out by Lindelof. United not had an effort yet, but Rashford is in behind, and just like that, they've got a goal. We've had 10 efforts on goal. They haven't had one, but But that's all it takes. That ball to the back post and Marcus Rashford with the header from a Wan-Bissaka free kick. It looked like he might have been offside there, but apparently not. And it is 1-0 to Manchester United. Mendy with the throw. Ball goes in. Wan-Bissaka away. De Bruyne on the volley. What an effort from Kevin De Bruyne. When you need a reaction, Kevin De Bruyne is your man. His 5th goal of the season. He's not been spectacular for us, but he has scored important goals. He's got that really good big match mentality. And what a volley that is. As straight as an arrow into the bottom corner. An hour played as Wan-Bissaka pulls the ball inside to Fred. Pereira back to Fred. I'd appreciate if they don't also score with just their second shot of the game, but instead Sterling has intercepted the pass and played through Riyad Mahrez with fresh legs. He's through on goal, but that's a really poor and soft effort at De Gea. De Bruyne steals the ball off Lindelof. He's in on goal. He's got men across, and Mahrez tucks it into that bottom corner. The substitution has worked, and we take the lead against United. They're 7 games unbeaten in the league. Let's make sure that run does come to an end here. Wan-Bissaka had the ball. It was played back to Lindelof. A loose touch there where he almost treads on the ball. De Bruyne picks it up, plays it across, and Mahrez with the finish. 15 minutes to go as Wan-Bissaka finds Fred. Wan-Bissaka plays the ball back to De Gea, who launches it out. It's come from Martial, but Cancelo with the good tackle. Mahrez trying to make some room down the right flank. He's held up and loses out to Martial there, who's fresh off the bench and can be dangerous. But Stones has picked his pocket beautifully. And Stones then switches the flank, finding Sterling. A great ball across. He's got men in the middle as he holds up the ball, but he's blasted that one well wide of the goal. Cancelo with the throw-in, looking for Mahrez. It's got all the way over. There's a penalty in there, I think. VAR are taking a look at it, but that's almost certainly going to be a penalty, which I've not been able to stop it in time. Fernandinho is going to take it. Hopefully he can get the finish. I would have given it to Jesus. But Fernandinho from the spot finds the bottom corner. It doesn't matter. We've scored 3 goals against United for the 2nd game in a row. And we're going to give them a 2nd defeat in a matter of a few days. Absolute domination over our rivals here. It could get worse as well. Stones puts the ball in. Fernandinho's in there. It's another foul. And it's going to be another penalty. I'm going to try and stop this one as well. No, Fernandinho's taking the penalty. They're not giving me enough time to change it up. Fernandinho about to go for the 2nd time now. He steps up and he's put it down the middle to make it 4-1. His 6th goal of the season now. Hopefully we get another penalty. He can get his hat-trick and make it 5-1. A nice finish straight down the middle. And we do have a 4-1 lead. Total domination here. And I think it could actually get worse for United. Sterling trying to get the ball there. 3 United players around him, but Fred has taken it. Cancelo down to Stones. Good interception. Fernandinho to Rodrigo. Mendy switches the flank to the right, and Mahrez with the touch there. Young's tackled him, but Mahrez has got the pace. He keeps the ball going. Pulls it back, and De Bruyne is in there, but he's put it over the bar. James with the ball. Beats one defender. Still going. Great tackle by Laporte. Mendy. Down for Sterling. He's got Jesus in the middle. He's not going to use him. He's gone for goal, and it's saved by De Gea. Martial tacking down the left. Being held up by Cancelo. He's giving it away to De Bruyne, who can counter-attack. Mahrez is up there. But McTominay has the ball after a Maguire interception, and he's played in Jota in behind, and a good save from Ederson. 2 victories against United with a 3-goal margin in both games. Excellent stuff from the team today. You can see the total contrast between the way the 2 teams are playing football at the moment, and a really good victory for us to keep our league campaign on the push. A nice big victory. 15 matches unbeaten in the league. We now have a 7-point cushion over Liverpool, 11 points clear of United. They do have games in hand, but we're in such a nice position now. We can take on Brighton, Spurs, Middlesbrough, and then it's either Liverpool or Leicester in the next match. So could be interesting to do a Liverpool double header. But I think actually what we'll do is maybe go up to this Liverpool game take on Arsenal, Chelsea, and then maybe see if we're playing Liverpool in the second leg as well. That could be an interesting game. So I'll have a think about how to do the next episode. Do drop a like on the video though if you're enjoying this series, this March to Silverware. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. But until next time, see ya.